Hey there, everybody, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and we're going to talk about two different things that we've talked about on this channel before today. One's going to be some good news for a game that I really like, and the other's going to be a little schadenfreude. We'll talk about it after we cue up the music, and then we'll talk. Alright, so, look down here. This is the Assassin's Creed Shadows official world premiere trailer from Ubisoft. 600,000 dislikes to 266,000 likes. Over 7 million views. It's been out for 5 days. 5 days since this came out. Let's see what happened with Ubisoft stock 5 days ago. Alright, so Ubisoft stock is down 3.84% in the past 5 days, and this trailer was released on the 15th. And as you can see, right on the 16th, look at this drop. It went from 525 down to 444, just like that. That's a huge drop there. Now, I'm no stock expert or analyst or anything like that, so take it for what it's worth, but I'm guessing it might have something to do with that awful, awful trailer and the premise behind Assassin's Creed Shadows. So, let's talk about this most disliked trailer of all time. It's franchise history for Ubisoft and for Assassin's Creed. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. So at the time they wrote the article, it was at 595,000 dislikes, but that's already jumped up to 600,000. And it looks like the likes only went up a little bit. 1,000. So a 5-to-1 ratio as far as the numbers changing. That's kind of insane. Assassin's Creed Mirage Cinematic World Premiere had 8.7 million views since release in September 2022. It only has 9,700 dislikes compared to over almost 250,000 likes. So that's huge, that's good. That game was successful from what I understand. I never played that one, but I've heard, decent stuff about it. It was kind of more of a traditional Assassin's Creed game that harkens back to the older days when the games were smaller and you could get through them a little bit quicker. They weren't so open world bloated messes like some of the other ones have been lately, but it is what it is. But we'll look back further to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That official premiere trailer was released on the Ubisoft North American channel. 9.4 million views the whole time. It racked up 325,000 likes and only 15 dislikes. Oh, 15,000 dislikes. Okay, I was going to say, what? Yeah, you forgot your K there, guys. That's very odd there. So, not bad. Not bad at all. That was a great trailer. That was a fun game despite its flaws, despite the wokiness and garbage that they stuffed into it. And the bloat, I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed being a Viking, traveling around England and just sacking one region after another and taking it over and doing all kinds of cool Viking stuff. The 2018 premiere trailer for Odyssey, 6.8 million views, 74,000 likes, and 8,600 dislikes. Not a lot of likes on that one. That's interesting. And then we'll go back to Origins here. 89,000 likes, 10,000 dislikes. Fascinating. So, the game's receiving significant pushback for featuring Yasuke, a historical figure of African descent, in the game that is set in Japan rather than a male Japanese samurai. Two of the top comments on the trailer translated from Japanese read, European and American game companies, in order to avoid racial discrimination, black characters must be included in games to ensure the diversity of characters and subvert stereotypes. The same European and American game companies. We decided to put a black samurai in a game with a Japanese background. His mission is to kill various Asians. Thank you, Ubi. The other one states, if this is true, if there's even a slight mention in a country's history book that black people existed at a certain time of history, all the main characters in games set in that country will be black. There is a possibility. Yeah, it's completely silly. And I stand by this. And it's not just me, obviously, that's dunking on this game. You go all throughout YouTube and people are crapping all over this game. Meanwhile, you've got these mainstream gaming outlets just carrying water for it, saying that it's setting records for pre-sales and stuff like that. At $130 a pop, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Now, I will not deny that this game will sell. It is Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is a very well-known brand, and there are people that will buy it because they're mindless zombies, and they'll buy it just because It's called Assassin's Creed, and they like Assassin's Creed. But it is not going to do nearly the numbers it would have done had it been a badass game set in feudal Japan where you played as an awesome samurai and you got to go do all kinds of samurai stuff. And let's not even talk about the second character, the gender ambiguous, supposedly female, what do you call it, ninja, who is supposedly a warrior. Female ninjas existed. I'm not going to deny that. You know, historically they existed, but they weren't warriors, even though they were trained in fighting. They were more of intel gatherers. You know, you would have them infiltrate the families and the homes of the people you wanted to learn about, and they would get information for you and bring it back. But whatever. So the game's associate and narrative director, Brooke Davies, did note in a subsequent trailer focusing on Yasuki and the game's other protagonist, Naoi, the historical character of Yasuki presented a really exciting opportunity for the narrative team. We approached it the same way that so much of the work is done in Assassin's Creed, which is really in terms of research and history first. Well, obviously not, because he wasn't a samurai, you know? And this whole thing, I think Asmongold put it best. Asmongold pointed out something huge. This game and the other one that was announced recently from Ubisoft, Star Wars Outlaws, right? Star Wars Outlaws took a beautiful young actress and they uglified her and made her look kind of like, you know, like a transsexual, right? They call her Ma'am Solo because she's like very butch and very rough and very, you know, instead of you know, taking her face and putting it in there. I mean, they do it with the male characters, you know, these actors they'll boom, put them in the game just as they look. So why do that to her? Well, he had a thought, and you know, the more I think about this, the more it makes sense for both games. Both of these games feature day one DLC that requires you to either pre-order or order a premium copy of the game, not just the basic game, that actually locks a mission behind a paywall, right? So it's like you're getting a game, you're buying a game, and the mission is in the game. But if you didn't pay an extra $10, $20, whatever it is, you can't play that mission from day one. I get DLC down the road. That's a common thing. We've seen that through the years now, and it's normal, it's accepted, and you know, it is what it is. It's fine. A lot of times DLC will bring a lot more to the table, you know, depending on the type of game. Sometimes it's crap, sometimes it's big, you know, sometimes it's whole hunks of story and new locations and all that kind of stuff. This is a single mission locked behind a paywall on day one. Skill points locked behind a paywall on day one. A couple other things. And these enormous $130 price tags for both Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows. $130 for the top game. 3 days early access. Some extra, what do you call it? Extra outfits and whatnot. Stuff like that. You know, a locked mission and then some DLC, like a season pass or whatever. That's a lot of money to be forking out, especially to a company like Ubisoft, who has recently pulled games off the market that people have paid for and can no longer access or play these games, even if they bought it themselves, right? Because they're no longer tending the servers. There's no offline mode that you can play and just say, well, at least I can still play offline single player. No, the game's gone. So you bought this game at some point in your life. You played it. You thought you owned it. And then all of a sudden it disappeared and you can no longer access or play this game. That's like theft right there, you know? And I'm sure, and I guarantee you, it's somewhere in their terms of service, that little thing you click every time you download a game. Yes, I accept. Let's play. I'm sure that's in there, so there's no way to sue them over it. You know, it's dirty. And these guys have become one of the dirtiest companies out there as far as gaming goes. That's bad. So this game you're paying $130 for today, 10 years from now, you might not be able to access it all. You know, who knows? It does require you to be online to play it. You know, day one to download it and all that. There's a lot of fishiness going on around it. Not just the stupid choice for a main character, but yeah. Well, let's get on to some good news. All right, so it looks like Shift Up Corporation is developing a new project while also discussing a sequel and a PC port for Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade has been very successful. This is the first big game released by Shift Up. I think they were doing mobile games or something like that before this. They were very small, and they released basically a AAA title out of nowhere, created a new IP that people love, myself included. It's a lot of fun. It's a great game. If you like Souls-like games, you're going to love this game because it's a Souls-like. If you hate Souls-like games, but you want to play something that's kind of like them, I would put this more along the lines of a God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn with a little Souls-like to it. I don't know, something like that. It's not... The combat is fun. A lot of parrying, a lot of dodging and all that, but it doesn't have the punishing issues of like a Souls game, where if you die, you lose everything and you got to start over and all that. No. But you can go to your little camps and heal up, and everything will respawn around you. So it's got that kind of feel. That's why I like to say that. In addition to the combat, that's what gives it that Souls-like groove to it. But a new report details that Stellar Blade developer Shift Up Corporation is discussing a PC version of the game, as well as a sequel, along with confirming they are working on a new cross-platform title going by codename Witches. The report comes from ex-user Cami, who detailed, Stellar Blade developer Shift Up confirms both a PC version and a sequel are under consideration. He added that this consideration comes as the game's sales are exceeding expectations. Furthermore, Kami notes that the studio will continue to expand AAA efforts and invest in new IPs moving into 2025. Next, he detailed the new project, codename Witches, in development, cross-platform gacha game for PC, console, and mobile. Gacha game. Okay, well, it is what it is there. In a subsequent post, Kami shared a translation from Shift Up's IPO document that states there are several precedents for AAA titles evolving into IP franchises by extending their lifespan and maintaining a long-term revenue base through a series of high-quality sequels. Accordingly, we are considering producing a PC version and a sequel to Stellar Blade. Now, last week, Stellar Blade posted something on X. It looked like a picture of one of the bosses in the game, but it looked like a statue or something. And it said news coming next week. So there's been a lot of speculation as far as what that's going to be. Are they going to add a new mode to the game, like a boss rush mode? People are speculating DLC, which I doubt. I mean, we already got New Game Plus, so there's no room for something like that. I could see a boss rush mode, which would be cool. And I think that's already been discussed by Shift Up. So having something like that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, we're not going to be seeing any major DLC, and I highly doubt we're going to be seeing any change in the outfits back to the originals. That battle has been fought, and unfortunately, Sony and Shift Up are standing their ground and doubling down on saying that the outfits that are out there are the outfits that they wanted to present. So it is what it is at this point on that. Love it or hate it. The new development, codename Witches, was confirmed by Korean website Inven. A translation via DeepL details Project Witches is a subculture genre game created with a new IP. It will be cross-platform, allowing players to move between mobile, PC, and console. Project Witches is currently in the early stages of development and will be hiring developers this year. Inven's report also details that Shift Up plans to add new projects to the development pipeline every 2 to 3 years. Furthermore, the report notes that the company does have plans to acquire IP and develop games based around this acquired IP. All right, well. So anyway, Stellar Blade launched, God, it's only been a month or so now. The end of April, and it was the number one most sold game in the UK for the week it launched. The game stayed strong in its second week, dipping to second behind Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition. In its third week, the game dropped to 13th on the sales chart in the United Kingdom. Man, Cyberpunk's still rocking and rolling after all these years. I was a day one player on that, not to go off on a tangent, and that game was just in such bad shape. But it has become such a beloved game. I love to see redemption like that within this industry. Games like that and games like No Man's Sky that come out and suck and they're horrible and everybody hates everybody involved with it, and then all of a sudden they're like the darlings of the video game world. So that's cool. But yeah, so what do you think of these stories today? What do you think about Assassin's Creed being Shadows being the most disliked trailer in history? Do you think that's warranted? I mean, there's been a lot of Assassin's Creed games through the year, and it's had its ups and downs. I know a lot of people don't like the open world ones that started up with Origins and continued on through Odyssey and then Valhalla and now Shadows. So that might have something to do with it, but I have a feeling it's this guy right here that's really eating away at everybody because it's bad. It's really bad. Real figure or not, real historical figure or not, real samurai or not, it's silly to center a game around this guy. You are an assassin. You're supposed to blend into the crowds and disappear. How is this guy going to do that in Japan? Right? He's what, 1.5 meters taller than everybody else. I mean, come on. Anyway, so yeah, that's that, and then we got, of course, Shift up here, which I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Stellar Blade. I don't think we're going to be getting any DLC for it. I haven't quite finished the game yet. I'm working through it right now as we speak, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, and I think I'm in the latter half of the game now, so we're getting kind of close to the end. I'm a little distracted with all the side quests and all that, but I'm trying to get as much of that done as possible before I close it up, and then I might do a on live stream New Game Plus run. We'll see about that down the road. All right, guys, so if you haven't done so already, please leave a like on the video down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications. I will see you all next time. Until then, peace.